Hello, everybody. Welcome to Alien Addict. We've had maybe there's problems. I'm not sure, but we've had a slight guest issue. That I'm not sure. We're still waiting to hear from the guest. He might appear late. Billy's a good guy. I've spoken to him before on my previous podcast. If there's a reason he can't make it tonight, I'm sure it's a serious one, and I hope everything's fine. Without further ado, before I bring Dave on, remember you can become a channel member. You can like and share it. You can just share on social media right now. Chances are, if you like it, your friends will too, because we hang around with people that are like us. So if you're a dick, that means your friends are probably dicks, and they're probably like this. We do t-shirts. You can go and buy yourself the Sasquatch t-shirt right now. The link should be in the description. We also do the MH370 Didn't Disappear Itself. There will be more t-shirts coming, including one of my fine face that's just impeccable, if I'm perfectly honest. Before I forget to do this, we will also be launching a Saturday show next week. It's planned to start next week, so pencil it in your diaries. It will be called the Conspiracy Mothership, and it's Conspiracy Mothership. The idea around it is you guys come into the chat. We'll have like 10 minutes of fanny about, talking about stuff, and then whoever puts the best comments up, we'll pick like 5 topics, and it can be anything, not just UFOs. It can be like JFK, 9/11, whatever you want. Like whatever you want, we will pick a few topics from the comments. Super chat comments will be given priority, and that's the idea. Just so we can start talking about some different stuff. I think it's gonna be good and gets you guys involved. Me and Dave are going to enjoy doing it. So, David, I'm really excited about the Saturday podcast. Really excited about it. It's going to be good.
Did you tell everyone about the t-shirts?
I did tell everybody about the t-shirts.
Tell everyone they can join, become a member.
I did tell everyone they can join and become a member and share the podcast to their mates, which are probably dickheads like them.
Yeah, dickheads tend to hang out together. Yeah, if your buddy's a dickhead, you're probably a dickhead too.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's everybody knows that. Did you tell them you have a shirt coming out?
I did tell them I have a shirt coming out. It's fabulous. Like, I mean, it doesn't paint me in my most masculine, but it's still fabulous.
I love it. I'm getting one. I'm still waiting on the Bigfoot one to come. There was a shipping error and it got lost.
No.
So they're they're like, it's been lost. We're gonna reprint you. We can either refund you or reprint you and send you another. And they're reprinting. I got my sticker in.
I mean, it makes sense that the Sasquatch t-shirts are really difficult to find. The sticker looks great.
I had to trim it to fit. It's a big sticker, man.
Yeah, and hey, this is a thing. Dave had to buy his own stickers. So if Dave has to buy stickers and t-shirts, you should buy stickers and t-shirts.
Absolutely. Yeah. I even have the water bottles and stuff with all these old images that you deleted.
Well, there was 175 products on the store.
No, I'm not blaming you for deleting them. He had a natural emotional attachment to them.
It was like Alien Addict Etsy. You've never seen so much stuff.
I remember buying it. I had to go through and like, what the fuck is all? Like, what is going on, man? And yeah.
Well, yeah, no, it was well. I mean, I'll be honest. I didn't actually mean to fully delete everything. It's a good job he's got backups, because like that shit is gone. But yeah, we're going to try and keep a tidy ship on the Alien Addict store. Titans Jess says, where do they ship from? I don't know, Jess. I'm sorry.
The Teespring, the people who do it, they have different production everywhere. It depends on where you are. Like if you're in Europe, they have a Europe print shop. If they have in the US,
that would make sense, because I used to use TeePublic, and I think they only had a US shipping base, so my UK listeners got nailed for shipping when it came to things. It just became, it wasn't fair, to be perfectly honest. You know, I used to run t-shirts like just as an I didn't make anything off them. It was more just a case of getting the logo out. But even still, that like people were having to pay too much. I think Teespring is a more fairer pricing system. So go buy t-shirts. They're all good. There's going to be better ones coming. Get the set.
The stickers are huge and they're really good quality.
Now it's manageable. You can buy 2 t-shirts now. If you leave it till there's like 3 and 4, that's a lot of money. If you want to buy the set, you should get on it now. Anyway, I think
you tell them we're always going to be changing out designs too.
Well, that's the plan, isn't it? Yeah, the plan is to only have like maybe 4 or 5 t-shirts up any one given time. Then we will swap out t-shirts and bring fresh ones in. So there's always going to be something worth you going for a look at what we have. There's nothing else. Oh, the show should. We technically could have done it this week, but we should be starting to stream live on Rumble soon because we have. You guys have gone and done what we asked you to do and pimped up the Rumble numbers, so now we can go live. So now it's worth us doing it. So it's worth us putting stuff up. So hopefully next week we'll get it all in place this week so we can do it, and we'll be doing our shows live on Rumble as well as YouTube. So that's pretty good. As far as strange stuff goes, I mean, like we were going to go into this show tonight talking to Billy from the Infinite Fringe. I was going to ask him about what he thinks the current disclosure movement thing is. And that seems it still seems poignant. Have you been seeing the videos that have been popping up of like giants on hills all of a sudden?
I'm so thankful they're big targets.
It's I just don't know what to think about it. I don't know what to think of any of these. And like they penetrated. Like the I mean, at that size you'd expect it.
Yeah, but, I mean it'd be weird if it didn't.
But yeah, I saw that like the same story about was it in Brazil, these ones?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The like that someone shared me that link because like that's what happens now. I've worked out that's what I am to some people. Some people share me loads of conspiracy stuff that I know I know daily, and I think they're only doing it.
Loads.
Well, they're only doing it because I think it helps them like digest the fact that they're looking into conspiracies more.
Yeah, man,
I'll be that person. If that's my job, I'll do that.
I understand that because to some of my more normie friends, which I don't have many of, I definitely end up being a sounding board for them, and they send me like look at this. What's here? Whoa!
Cheers, Lee. Is it a Lee? You're a Lee, aren't you? Ollie always says your name, and I always forget. I'm sure you're Lee too. I mean, actual Lee too, because I'm Lee 1.
I'm gonna let that joke slide. Never mind. Anyway, what was it? What were we talking about?
I got giants on hills.
Oh yeah, big targets. I'm a fan of that. I'm cool with that. You don't have to calculate as much drop. You're gonna hit it somewhere.
Yeah, like I say, that was shared to me on like the Lad Bible and stuff like that. You know, that has you know, it's at least 6'2" Lee. 1 Lee is also 6'2".
You're both a little short.
You're just a gigantic. I knew you were tall. I didn't expect you to be like. Rarely do I feel like the small person in a situation.
Tall and broad. Yeah.
Yeah. That's some good hugging.
Yeah, I am a good hugger. It's true. It's very true. I remember what we were talking about. People send you clips of weird things, and that's how they're able to digest it. Yeah, I get that too. I think it's like it always tends now. Anyway, it's starting to tend and lead into conversations about bizarre things happening. You know, you made a statement a couple of years ago that it's good. A time is going to come when you're going to need a really good conspiracy theory friend.
Conspiracy theorist. I think now's the time.
That time.
Yeah, we've at least got one leg in that room. It's that point of like, Right. Now can we talk about the WWEF and the incoming like technocracy?
Yeah. Yeah, dude, it was funny. So I was out at a trivia thing with some one of my friends, other friends, and they're like attorneys and business owners and businessmen and things like that. They're all pretty white collar normal people. And I'm definitely the only person that, well, that's not true. Two of us, my buddy that brings me, and I've made friends with these people. We both look homeless and they all look very shiny and nice. If you ever meet me in the real world, anyone out there, you'll notice I generally kind of look homeless. I like it. But they've been bringing stuff up at trivia night, you know, everything from moon landings to a flat earth to an alien invasion to, you know, projected reality and what do I think. And it's like, these conversations are a whole lot different than what song is this from 1987.
I know later on in the year, it's still January. Yeah, next month. I think it's going to be a midweek show. It might be the first Wednesday of February, but I'll have to check that. I'm sure you guys will get it on social media. And we'll pimp it on the other shows as well. But we've got Dave Weiss, Flat Earth extraordinaire, coming on. I'm very excited to talk to him about what he believes the chances of the 2026 moon landing happening are.
0.
Yeah.
0. Yeah, they're not sending anyone. Something's going to happen. It's going to be disease X, or you know, the what they're talking about now after the Congress met, right? U.S. Congress met, and you had the dude coming out and talking about it who looks all shell shocked. Or
yeah, I've seen a few of them coming out
off.
now. Yeah, they all came up very serious.
That, or he's at the end of his ride of cocaine. Like
maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen people like that. They were just shell shocked. Like, you've seen a bit too much. You need to sit down. But that person also looks like someone who's been on a bender for 4 or 5 days. You know what I mean? And they just realize we're out of drugs. Same look. I thought that was interesting. I think the news article's going around talking about a 30-foot wide craft that's, you know, hundreds of feet long or yards or whatever. And that's what Grush was talking about, and others. I would like to know what they heard in there that freaked them out, and it leads to some speculation, like Tucker Carlson's been talking about, as well as others. I don't know. What do you think, Lee? What do you think?
I think, regardless of what the facts are around it, I think they've been told that people are being hurt. And then probably some more details on top of it. You know, Grush has already said in Congress that people have died because of this. I mean, who knows, right? Let's say it's true. Like the whole idea that Eisenhower met them on a landing strip. It was Eisenhower, wasn't it? They were supposed to have done that.
Let's go with the president. I don't know.
Yeah, president. I think it's Eisenhower. Met them. They come off the ramp. He says, "What do you want?" They said, "We can help you. We can give you iPhones. We can give you fiber optics. Like, that'll lead to VR glasses. You can watch porn like that." And he's gone,
Easy
that
deal.
Sounds great. What do we need to do? Do you want chickens? Like, no, we don't want chickens. Do you want money? He said, no, we've evolved beyond money.
Like, they want pizza and hot dogs.
There's so many of yous. We just want a few. Just a few people. Just a few. We're like, when we might scoop out a couple of cows. But really, we just want to scoop up a few people. We're going to do some stuff. We're going to put them back in the bedrooms. They're going to look crazy. There'll be a guy with one arm, which definitely didn't take pictures of us. But don't listen to him. Like, imagine that's what they're told. Like they said, like, at some point in the past, we've made a deal, and we started we allowed this to happen. And as time has gone on, said explorers from parallel dimensions or planets, wherever they come from, have gone, do you know what? We want a few more reviews, and there's nothing you can do about it. We've given you that technology. We're not going to give you any more because we don't want you to get in any situation where you can actually stop us. Imagine that. How do you go, like, if that's what disclosure is? How could the like, I mean, and global government as well. I mean, could you imagine that? Imagine it's not global government. Imagine it's only the American government that sold out its own people, if not the world.
We definitely sold out the world. I think, man, this is going to be, I think it's going to be good. I just got to be careful. Because I just got off a very interesting conversation past.
Yeah. Sorry, hi, I'm Moody. That wasn't supposed to be you. That was supposed to be this comment. It was like, cool your jets, Jess. Using the word definitely when we're talking about abducting people is probably too many chips in at that point.
I like it. All the way, Jess. All the way. I like it.
Don't be pop committed on scooping humans out of their beds.
Yeah. So it's a broad, and I'm trying to think of how to tackle the topic because it's too broad.
Mm-hmm.
I have considered, like, here's the thing. So the Alien Channel, I personally think an alien invasion would never happen. And I think this is the best way to get into it. An alien invasion would never happen for a couple of very simple reasons. One, why would they invade? We have nothing that they need.
Mm-hmm.
Everything, allegedly, if space is what they say it is, and according to Ollie, it's not, but he's not here, so whatever. Space has infinite resources, planets. Like, if you're able to move, whether it's through dimensions or across space, you can terraform a world, right? Like, we can already create lab-grown meat. So the two things we haven't found out in space is like chlorophyll and proteins, right? But we can create those here, so can they. So they're not here for protein. They're not here for chlorophyll. They can get water anywhere. Interest would be the only reason, right? And why would you make direct contact? I mean, they might view us like we view chimps in the wild, something fun to watch and set up game cameras. So I kind of view it sort of like that. And if you follow that train of logic, why would it necessarily have to be interdimensional or extraterrestrial? Maybe they were already here. Maybe they're the ones who built all the civilizations. Maybe they live in the sea. That's 70% of the planet.
Yeah.
It's damn near impenetrable to us. It's something.
See, the thing with the alien thing, I see that, like, somebody posted up in the comments just before, like, well, why would they ask? Makes sense. Like, there's
why no,
because that's one of the other issues I think we have when it comes to especially the idea of extraterrestrials. We constantly humanize them. We either make them good or bad. Might not even have emotions.
So,
or they might have emotions which are so obscure to us that we can't comprehend how they deal and process emotions.
So this is going to get not along that, but I'm about to get weird. I know some people don't like it, but why would they show interest in us, right? Like, why? Because here's the thing: if abductions are real, I'm not saying they are or they aren't. Let's say they are. Then the accounts we get, they're very interested in our reproduction. Even the cattle they take, they're very interested in reproduction. They're extremely interested in reproduction.
Freaks.
Or they have a good time. They're down to party. I got to give them that. So let's run with that, right? They're into reproduction. Okay. This seems strange. Whether they're extraterrestrial, interdimensional, ultra, whatever. Let's look at our mythical accounts, like our histories, our religions, whatever. One of the things that kind of comes up a lot is that man is unique, right? Like, we share something in common with God or gods, right? Like, the Judeo-Christian were made in the image of God. Okay, but what does that mean? Like, I mean, we look like them because we all look different.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lee. Other Lee.
Leto.
No, I'm not calling him that. I'm not calling the guy who just gave us a fun little sticker there a turd. So maybe humans, not necessarily can create life, where you are a soul, you have a body. Maybe part of the unique thing that makes humans so interesting is that we create souls. Maybe that's what's unique. Maybe they're just as interested in the paranormal haunting phenomenon as we are. Not so much us, but like, why does this energy continue after? Why is there more for them? Like, what's going on? I don't know. I don't know. I know so many paranormal accounts are tied to lights in the skies and things like that. And people are like, well, they're all one and the same. Maybe the lights in the skies are just as interested in the paranormal phenomenon as we are. Maybe more so. I don't know.
I mean, we talk about often how the controllers of seeing, we'll just call them that. We've got loads of names now, haven't we? Some are official, some are like some aren't. But there seems to be some sort of bend of the knee when it comes to stuff, to their own detriment when it comes for karmatic effect.
Yes.
And that makes me, that to me suggests something that is more, I don't want to say earthbound, but I definitely want to say part of the human experience. Because if you do, I know people get upset when you start saying demons, because for some reason religion seems to scare people, which is really weird, and I think that's brainwashing, if I'm perfectly honest.
Aliens aren't in it for our sexual organs, they prefer our personalities. That's what they told me. Oh, that's good. I like this as well. It's like, we are vessels for higher dimensional consciousness. What if we're an infant of higher dimensional? This is the cradle, right? This is the cradle for that.
I often wonder that. What if
this is where it starts?
Yeah, we're so wrapped up in the idea that this is just here for a good time, not a long time. For instance, phrases like that just hammer it home to you that you're nothing more than just a quick go in a meat sack. You get to do an experience and as much as you can in round about 70 to 100 years, if you're lucky. And then that moves, then you move on. You not even move on, then you're just gone. I find it weird that we don't really talk, because even thinking about things like that, the closest thing we've got is the idea of reincarnation, isn't it? And even that reincarnation terrifies me.
Yeah, why?
The idea that especially I should preface to reincarnation that is that you can't opt out of. So the idea that you die, you go into the, what we'll call it, the fucking great expanse that is outside of our reality. You get a quick glimpse of what's going on. You understand how many times you've done this before, and then you get pulled back into another round where you can't learn anything because you forget it.
I think if you've had any experience with psychedelics, a lot of things suddenly come into perspective. There is the mystery of the Rh positive versus Rh negative. Yep. There's the books I've been reading on remote viewing, not necessarily remote viewing, more like the government study of remote viewing and bizarre phenomenon, which is, I believe, Annie Jacobson's called Phenomena. Check it out. We need to get her on. That's one of the best books ever. If you're into this type of thing.
I have reached out to her.
Have you? Fantastic.
Yeah.
She's written a bunch. I will get to all her books in time. I have a list that's constantly going. But as she's been going through it, so for those that don't know, if all you know is men who stare at goats, you're drastically behind the reality of how much the government and the intelligence communities, not just in the United States, but in the world, have put into remote viewing and psychic phenomenon. They're 100% behind it. They have statistical modeling for it. They have different training sessions that, yes, technically anyone can do it.
Who's the guy that wrote The Men Who Stare at Goats?
Who wrote it?
Yeah.
I have no idea. So it's a very interesting thing, especially when they started getting like people who were more sensitive or more psychic, or I hate using the word psychic, but kind of had their own methodology. The levels of accuracy they were able to get were phenomenal. A couple of them made millions of dollars afterwards going to work for oil companies and mining companies, telling them where the oil is, where the precious metals are, where they should, treasure hunters, same thing. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. And the protocols they put in, how the government freaked out. Yfiles did a thing on it too here a while back. So I think that's very serendipitous. He did a really good job. He talked more about like remote viewing aliens, which one of the guys named Price did. That's phenomenal too. But
the guy that wrote many Stare at Jokes was John Ronson. I couldn't remember his name. You might have heard of John Ronson because he was with Alex Jones when he broke into Bohemian Grove. Subsequently, and this is what I kind of think Ronson might be some sort of plant in some way, like a low level,
100%.
A low level disinformationist, because like men who stare at goats was kind of there to like normalize and ridicule at the same time.
Yes. It's there to make it a joke. That's the point of the movie, was to make it a joke.
But he's also the guy that has come out and said, oh yeah, like this whole thing of like, he said, I used to know Alex, we used to be friends, but he then wrote there was a movie came out in 2001, I think it was, or maybe 2011, called the something with the extremist, living with the extremist, which is about Alex Jones and conspiracy theories. He said that, but he basically on Rogan as well, like Rogan brought up the Bohemian Grove thing, and he said, he said we got in, he said we filmed that stuff, but really there was nothing weird going on. There was nothing. It like doesn't matter how many presidents and how many world leaders and politicians.
It's definitely weird.
We're praying to an owl and setting fire to the effigy of a child. But he was adamant, like, no, it was just nonsense. It was just like, I think he might have referred to it as horseplay amongst the gentry sort of thing. But I find it weird because I mean I've got friends that are one in particular comes to mind who's a fan of Ronson's, and like that for him explained Bohemian Grove
everything
right away. Just like, yeah, well, he said it's nothing.
Look what the Men Who Stare at Goats did to remote viewing. It made it a whole lifestyle. Like the reason that the remote viewing really got moved out of the public eye anyway was a sex scandal involving a colonel who at one time was assigned to a part of the DIA doing remote viewing, but he's like a part-time guy. He was really part of the test crew and they were figuring out protocols. He wasn't a guy. And later on, he said that he's a Mormon who said that invited demons in, which made him lose his mind and commit sodomy with his subordinate's wife. And then give her technology, give her government technology like computers and phones. Like, yeah, like what? So you're really just trying to cover up this weird affair and going into way too much detail about it for some reason. And he was looking for any legal means he could not to get court-martialed. And that's what he did. His whole legal strategy was that, which I think made the CIA and DIA and NSA all very happy, because they were able, like the CIA for the most part had already moved this into a black program off-site, off the books early on. I've actually kind of come to believe that the Monroe Institute itself is really just a front shell for the intelligence community, trying to find gifted people
You said that like a Professor X Academy almost.
No, more like. Did you ever see the Stargate Destiny? I think they only did like one season. Anyway, the opening one is this kid's playing a video game. He cracks some code on the video game. He's like, "Oh, nothing happens," and the military knocks at his door. It's like, you cracked code in a dead language using, bizarre math. That means you're qualified. I think in some similar way, that's what the Monroe Institute, people who maybe are sensitive or whatever, if you read about the Monroe Institute, they always come across as this like benevolent foundation that's all about hemisync and getting in touch with your spiritual. And if you're someone who maybe, to use the Stir of Echoes reference, if you guys have ever seen that movie, has a flashlight that flicks on and off, and they have these moments of psychic insight, you're probably going to gravitate somewhere looking for answers, right? If you gravitate there and they're like, "Oh, wow, you are genuinely gifted," because they have metrics to test these things now. They genuinely do. I think
metachlorians, I think it is, isn't it?
I believe so. I believe it's the metachlorian count. No, they have statistical model like that. You do guessing, and they walk you through these different programs to figure things out, and they're testing you like, what percentage are you accurate or not? Are you above 80%? That's a big deal. And a lot of people, well, I wouldn't say a lot, but there are people who are definitely well above that. So I think once you pass that little test and you get in there and they designate you as this person is, you get recruited by somebody.
Well, look at
whether you want to or not.
Is it Cicada 113 or Cicada 1? Yeah, it's 113. Yeah,
yeah, that's very fascinating.
Yeah, see, because to my knowledge, and somebody might be able to smart me up in this, nobody that's cracked that has ever come forward.
Well, somebody did. So people did, and they've done it more than once. It was just looking to build like the best ethical hackers. Like it was a extreme hacker game, and they wanted to get these people to move things forward. The problem was the game was designed in such a way, allegedly, I mean, this could be wrong. The game was designed in such a way that you're getting these the good kind of autists, right, who like puzzles and games and just want to sit in front of the computer and research and math. Someone
drops a box of matches and they've already counted it twice.
Yes, those are the people who, they love to answer questions. Those are the people the NSA looks for, analysts in the CIA. Those are the people they love.
I love fancy questions, just badly.
Well, they get the right answer. So they wanted to get these people to help do code and like help change the world. And you're like, you need people who are motivated and leaders who can instill confidence. Those aren't the same people as the people who can answer the crazy science questions. Like if you come across scientists, they don't necessarily care about the end result. They just care about solving the problem in front of them, right? The consequences of what happens to humanity or whatever is on the other end, and that's something they can't relate to because they're not wired that way. They're wired to want to solve the problem and feel good about themselves and a pat on the back. Like if you've ever met a cryptologist, like they're just math nerds,
Yeah.
I break codes. Well, what does that mean? I don't know, but I got it done.
Makes you wonder what else there is, isn't there? No, these are things we know about, but there must be other things out there which, if there are these recruitment programs for these, entities that we haven't even heard of, it's like it always makes you wonder. Like obviously we've got the old Chrome stuff. I always think, science moves forward. We make bigger and better things. And I remember my friend saying this back in the early 2000s when I was going out a lot and there was a lot of drugs like flying around from like people I know and stuff. And my mate who was very into that sort of scene turned around and said, I want to know where are the new drugs? And I'd never thought about this before, and it stuck with me for years. He said, we've got like coke, we've got pills, we've got this, we've got that. He said, but where's the new drugs? Why aren't we making like new things? And we're still the same. Like it's still the same to the point where you don't get new drugs, you just get old drugs. Like think about how many names ecstasy's had, for instance.
Oh yeah, it's good. That's a good example. Yeah.
Whereas you would in every other situation, every other avenue of business, new products come out. They make new products and better products, and then those products get marketed. But this is just, yeah, you're getting a load of stuff crushed up and some MDMA if you're really, really lucky, and that's what's in your thing.
Yeah, acid.
Yeah,
LSD still out there reigning supreme, and different labs pop up, do different things.
Would we be right if we thought, was that the last? Ecstasy must have been the last of the new drugs.
I think fentanyl.
Fentanyl I consider different because like nobody's out there taking fentanyl as a drug. It just happens to be in other stuff.
No. They absolutely are. 100%. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, they cut it down, but it's man.
It's just if it isn't fentanyl's just an opiate though, isn't it?
Yes. Well, it's a synthetic. It's a synthetic opiate. It's way stronger.
Yeah. But no, it was just something that I would have thought. I would have thought there'd have been something new. Like every dystopian like thing you watch. Like I'm playing through the RoboCop game at the minute, new RoboCop game, and the drug in that's a nuke, whatever nuke is. And every dystopian like film you see has some sort of weird, like usually a luminous street drug that's out there. We haven't really, it's always delivered in its own hypo and stuff, and we haven't really had that sort of come. So, but there must be new drugs. There must be people out there like taking these crazy party drugs none of us have ever heard of. So,
I don't believe in synthetic stuff, man. I'm anti that. I'm anti that. I'm going to be anti that the whole way.
I think right. No, don't get me wrong. I'm not advocating for it. I think you're 100% right. I just think it's weird that almost like those products are enough for busy work for the proles.
I think synthetic stuff like DMT is really just a copy of a naturally occurring molecule. Like DMT occurs in nature. There's ways to get it, and and then you can also synthesize it. And that was this crazy psychedelic that opened up. I think they're careful with drugs. My personal opinion, I think they're careful with drugs like that because they don't know what it's going to do to someone's mind or what it's going to open up. Again, it comes down to if you've ever had a powerful psychedelic experience or not. It'll change your life. It will change your life. You do not come back the same person, for better or worse.
Even just from the point of you questioning that experience, I think that's the biggest change. That's the biggest. I wouldn't want to say every day. I think that would be a.
I like this. The kids are too busy on TikTok to take drugs. Bunch of nerds.
Maybe that's it. Maybe TikTok is the new drug.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah. Social media is the new drug.
So
rots your brain instead of expands it.
Yeah, it's just see, I'm not sure about that. I like the fact that TikToks are now in longer form.
That's called psilocybin, man.
But like TikTok is, if you like conspiracy theories, and you look at enough conspiracy theories, TikTok great, because it's so immediate, it's so fast, and there is something about that algorithm that helps that.
It's like any drug, man. It's not so much that it's inherently bad. It's what you do with it, and are you someone who can handle it? Just like alcohol. Can you handle your alcohol? Not everyone can.
No.
Some things that are recreational use that make you feel good and you have a great time, and whether that's cannabis or like psilocybin mushrooms or acid or whatever, do you know you? Like, are you a responsible person? That addictive personality, like, it's going to make you an addict. They were always an addict. They were just looking for something to hang on to. Can they rein that piece of themselves in? I don't know. Now, granted, I don't put heroin or meth in there. Like, come on. But when I lived in Oklahoma, they used to have this campaign for meth, and people would like break into these silos to get different types of farming chemicals they used to make meth before the super labs and stuff like that. And they would get blasted in the face with these just unfiltered, just raw chemicals used like fertilizers and things and ammonia. They're like, they'd have a doctor's like, so he's getting chemical burns, right? Like they're going to be blind in that eye. It's crazy. It's crazy what it drives people to. I don't know.
Do you think it's all just busy work?
Yes.
Like even what we're doing, like all these things that come out are just busy work.
No, I think that's why they don't like what we're doing. They don't want questions.
That's fair.
They want you to watch a major organized sport that you're going to treat like a religion and follow your team in their holy order and sing their songs and chants and praises. And you're going to be totally content and distracted, not ask anything while the people who run things do whatever that is they do. I don't think they like questions. That's why I think they like so many places
90s
have
change.
What's that?
So this is what gets me. Like especially with this is what makes me wonder sometimes whether there's some sort of validity to the idea of a great awakening. Like there is something going on, whatever it is, like frequency wise, maybe that human beings go through where they start asking more questions. Because I can't work out whether that's what it is or it's just the fact that the
organic.
Yeah. Whether it's just like the COVID thing that really rocked some people and made some more people think.
They shook the reality too hard. They shook the foundations of people's normal reality too hard, and I think it shook some people awake. And
why did it change tax though? Why did they? Because the sort of stuff I think we're talking about, like the sort of stuff that goes on, like billionaire islands and stuff, I think has always gone on. Always gone on.
Yes.
And it was like we know about the movie industry now, it's just been rife through Hollywood, you know, since its inception. But in the, I would say, some people argue with me here, but I'm going to say Western heyday is the late 80s into the 90s, where I think if you were a Westerner, you felt like the world was your oyster. We celebrated, rightly or wrongly. No, I don't want to get into the morals of what was going on. We celebrate success. You know, it's why it's why people like Rockefeller and Donald Trump became celebrities at this time, because we loved the fact that there was people out there like the whole, like the yuppie culture. Even working class people thought like that Wall Street businessman was cool. We didn't look at them as being like corrupt, like vampires that sucked money out of the system, that stopped you from getting a house at a reasonable price. I want to know why we changed. Why did they want to take like the suburban dream away from people? Because it seems to be counterproductive.
It can't last. I mean, that's just economics. It can't last forever. It can't last forever. Nothing can. You know, when you pump that much liquidity into the system, you have to keep it moving. You have to keep it moving. Wars is an excellent way. Building is an excellent way. Wars maybe the best way. Because
it creates building.
So much. Well, yeah, I mean, it does create building, but it also costs stuff. So you got to think your average soldier going out, he's got a rifle. There's a couple grand. He has his outfit. That's a couple grand. He's got meals, which they charge unbelievable amounts of money for each one. And he's got to have 3 to 4 of those a day, right? Because he's burning major calories. So you got to keep him fed. Now you got to keep the fuel supply going. And the fuel supply requires a fuel supply, which requires those people to be fed and clothed. And it's this huge expensing. Like most of war is just logistics. Like 75% of it is logistics, being able to clothe and feed your army.
It's the industry and the military industrial complex.
Yes. They didn't so much take over as they were needed. If you look at the printing of money after World War II and how it escalated, right? Just you know, this, like, we just outspent everyone. That's how we got rid of the Russians. We just outspent the Cold War. We just created things that weren't there. I mean, what is money? It's debt. It's faith. It's faith that this will be taken for currency that I can use for trade. Because you pick berries and I bake bread. I don't want no damn berries for my bread, and you don't want no bread for your berries. But if we have some means that we both agree is worthwhile between us, which used to be gold and silver, but there's X amount of that to be mined and held and then controlled. That's how it started, because we can all agree gold has that because it's metallic. It can be smithed. You can do things with it. Even now, I mean, silver should really be more valuable than it is because it's in so much technology and industry, being such an amazing conductor. Now we have the fractional reserve system, right? And I'm fast forwarding a whole lot. But that's a 10-to-1 loan out. So it's, you put $1 in a bank, the bank loans 9. Technically they loan 10. They don't keep anything. Yeah, man. You got repo sheets. At the end of the night, every bank, at least in the US, has to remain so much of their capital for the loans they have out. And that's a really good way to judge what's going on, is to see how much they're having to pool, because that's how many loans they have out. And we're in a terrible situation. It's terrifying. There's going to need to be a financial reset of some kind, and it's going to play itself out naturally. But that's a very long explanation because it's very complicated. And the truth is, I really didn't go into enough detail. But I'm sorry for that.
No, because even if you had gone into detail, well, like most of it would have gone over my head anyway. Like,
but yeah, most people just go when you start talking about it. Yeah.
But see, but this is the confusing part for me, is because I understand like the idea that there'll have to be some sort of like the controlled demolition of the system we have, and then the reintroduction of something else. But I don't understand why it always has to have this anti-human touch to it now.
That's a good question. Maybe it's always been there. Maybe it's just grown. I mean, communism is anti-human.
It would make sense, right? If let's go with the idea, because I think on some levels it's true. There is a global cabal which does its shit, might be horrible shit, but it does its shit, and it wants to keep us as happy little worker ants doing all the stuff, so they get all, so they need their stuff. Because I don't believe this whole thing of like I don't believe Depop stuff, because I feel if everything's about excess, even with those people. So if they believe we're their property, why would they want to get rid of that? Because they live in excess. So the idea of that there's more of us that they have control over is the bigger dick swing.
Oh no, that's easy. They hate us.
Oh yeah. No, I get that. Like I totally
no. I mean, they really we're less than because we're not them. We're not them. We're just things, and we're things that are clouding up and making everything dirty and getting in their way. They need AI and they need technology to get it so advanced that they no longer need us. And I think they're on that cusp, and they know it. So let's start sterilizing people. Let's start cutting them back. And not only that, it's a pretty natural thing. You don't want certain people.
See, this is the thing, though. Right? Moody's hit the quote there. We all know the quote from Agenda 2030, which was Agenda 21. Remember,
it was
you will own nothing and you will be happy. Now, this is what I don't get about the anti-human side to it, because I don't think there is many people out there that would complain about that if the happy part was real.
Oh, and I don't think that sell the lie, man. That's to sell the lie.
No, I know it's to sell a lie, but why wouldn't you? Do you know what I mean? It doesn't make sense. Like, everybody knows, if you are a business owner and you have a workforce underneath you, if you pay those people well and you treat them well, you will have them for life. They're not going anywhere. They're not going to go and take all your secrets somewhere else. They're not going to revolt. They're not going to go and lawyer up and try and get more out of you if you treat people right. why are they essentially fanning the flames of revolt?
Oh, why do they want this to happen?
Mm.
Because I don't think people like Schwab are actually in charge.
No, I don't. I think he's the figurehead.
I think he doesn't know what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like people talk about
He looked
disclosure.
pretty fucking worried at that conference the other day
Yes, he did.
when he was talking about the people not listening to authority figures and stuff like that. He was he looked like things weren't going their way. What I did see just before, and again, it's another person I don't know what to think about. Did you see Trump's just in a rally in Iowa?
Mm-hmm.
Like literally just before we went live. Have you seen any of that?
Mm-mm.
It was quite interesting because he was wearing a hat. He wasn't wearing a red hat. He was just wearing a white hat with a US flag on the side of it.
Trying to
Very strange. Yeah. Is genuinely right though? Is that a big enough base to be a vote changer? Because that always made me laugh.
Votes don't matter, dude. The election,
fair.
like this is a subject we should not go off on, but there's plenty of information out there for anyone to look at it. Yeah, I think we should just change it because I think this kind of conversation would be the thing that get this.
I think it's safe to say that me and you, Dave, are on the un-PC side of the fence.
Correct. That's why I'm saying it will sink this show. Yeah, it will sink this show. And it's not even that. I mean, the people listening, it's not you. It's not the 74 beautiful souls that are in here with us. Please all hit the like button. And man, you know, if 30 of you went and bought a T-shirt, it would mean the world to us. It genuinely would. You have no idea.
Incredible.
That would be unbelievable.
We could put
and send us pictures wearing it or nude. Yeah, Ollie loves nude pictures. You can send any of us pictures of yourself wearing the shirt or nude on Twitter. We're all very responsive. And again, Ollie loves the nudes.
Yeah.
So,
and like those weird.
Doesn't even have to be a you. Just send it to him with someone else. He won't know.
But he especially if you email them into Alien Addict, alienaddict.co.uk. Unfortunately, I will see them, but I will pass them on to him. He particularly likes those weird tribute photographs where you take a picture of him and you do something over the top of it.
Yes.
Big fan of that.
But throw a ruler in because he wants to know. You know, he gets a little thirsty and he wants to know what you're packing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just food for thought. But yeah, 30 T-shirts would be amazing. There's a lot of things I think that are going on. Like here's one from an opposite side. This conversation I'd had with some friends of mine. What if they don't hate people? What if they're the greatest, maybe the last humanists, and they still love people?
You've been saying that right. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been saying that one quietly for a while.
But that's always the thing. And you've always got to take this thing. What if it's all real? What if it's right? What if
what if it's exactly what you think it is?
Yeah. What if Epstein? No. But I mean, like, not even the conspiracy side of it. Like, what if the mainline story is real? Like, Epstein in the Isle was an accident. There was a load of people that accidentally on his plane that didn't know the shit he was into. That were all...
no.
Hang on. Just go with me here. Like, climate change is 100% on the level, and we need to do something about it now. And then there's people out there going, no, I'm not so sure about this. And these people are in the back in the office going, we just fucking need them to help here because we're gonna melt.
Well, the Blizzard would argue with that.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, it's fair.
No, I don't think that way.
I think we always you always have to give at least 20% of your doubt to the official story. I think because otherwise you're just gone. Mod, I don't know if you were in at the beginning of the show. I'm not sure where Billy is. He was supposed to be on. I did speak to him last week. He said he was going to be here for the show. Like I said, Guy's a good guy. I've had him on my podcast before I got so involved with Alien Addict, and I'm sure if he can't make it, that there is a very good reason for it, and I'm sure we'll have him on in the future.
Yeah. Now, I maybe for full entertainment value, but no, because conspiracy is real. It just is. Whether it's a police department conspiring to cover something up, or politicians conspiring to pay off sex workers so they don't talk, or the cameras mysteriously going out near and around Jeffrey Epstein's cell as he gets his neck broke and his hyoid bone crushed. What's that?
Coincidences.
Yeah, that's not a thing. It's not a thing. I wish. I mean, I wish it was. But no, I mean, so here's the thing. I've genuinely thought about this, that maybe they are the good guys. Maybe they put all this out there to force, the wheat from the chaff. If you're the person who's going to go and get all the, pokey pokies and get all up, and you get the cancers and you get the sterilization and the strokes and the brain hemorrhages and the plastic that's in the veins or rubber or whatever that is. Good. Their view is good. We're going to weed that out. All we want are the people who think for themselves and are just defiant, because civilization's built on defiant people who just don't bow. They're crazies at the edge. They're the ones who go off into the new territories and settle them. It's not the normies. It's the insane people.
Yeah, there was a really good thing going on. I forgot the guy's name now. Fuck, he's a comedian, comic writer over here. I think he wrote Father Ted. He's been quite outspoken about the trans thing, and he was on a show the other day, and he said he was talking about the wolf test. If you've heard of that.
I have not.
Or the wolf game. I can't remember what the actual game for.
Tracy Scott. Lee, all those that did Second Visit knew what Epstein was and chose to return. I agree with that. I think if you went once, you didn't know what was up.
No, like, look, just Tracy, I will let me be clear here. I am literally playing devil's advocate, like in its purest sense, playing devil's advocate.
Lead number 2.
But yeah, so this wolf game was developed by a sociologist in Russia that wanted to analyze how people dealt, how easily controllable people were. So the game is you take like 20 people, 2 of them are wolves, the rest are normal people.
Yeah. I'm familiar with this. Yeah. And they pick the wrong thing. Yeah.
Yeah. The idea is everyone closes their eyes. The 2 wolves decide who's going to be eaten. And when everyone opens their eyes, whoever's running the game turns around and says, in the middle of the night, the wolves killed Dave. Dave is out of the game. It's something like 98% of the time the wolves win because
the werewolves.
Because an informed minority can manipulate an uninformed majority.
Correct. There's some different games I did like that when I was studying Latin American politics, and we were like going through stuff and different, game theory things, and that's definitely one of them.
And it's Graham Linehan, and that's exactly what we're talking about. Thank you, Dobber.
Yeah, we did one that wasn't like that, but it was different. It shows how people at the top can keep everyone else out by acting independently, but by acting independently, they're still acting in their own best interests, and you can keep the masses out. Like it's just to control. Like you have multiple tiers, and you have to get so many points to move to the next tier. And every time someone gets to the new tier, all the people at the top tier get to vote, and they always vote to knock you down, right? Like, why would they let anyone else in? We're here. You don't get to be here. Someone had posted that the scarier thought, no one's in control. I don't think anyone really is. I think it's competing factions. Many competing factions. And they at times seem like one entity, and at other times they are definitely different.
Thanks, Tracy.
That's awesome.
Tracy was the lady that was super chatting like an absolute lunatic at the New Year's Eve, where essentially whenever we had a drink, she was tipping, and we were very drunk, and I can only imagine that Tracy's now very poor. But
I had a hangover the next morning. I've sworn off drinking for the year.
I was okay, but see, that's a weird thing, right?
Well, you're a professional.
No, I think this goes back with what you were saying about mushrooms changing people and psychedelic experiences changing people. I haven't felt the same since my really sort of powerful moment.
Your journey with the shaman.
Yeah, I haven't felt the same about alcohol since.
It's a poison.
Yeah,
I had a very powerful dream that morning.
As he says, drinking an IPA. But this is the thing. This is now. Whereas it used to be a case of me constantly having drinks when we did podcasts, and if I did like a weekend show, you were talking like a few cans and like maybe a bottle, sometimes 2 bottles of wine. This is now a really rare occurrence for me to drink.
I just drink real sugar soda, which is arguably potentially worse than alcohol. But on whatever potential shaman trip I may or may not have had, I didn't have a problem with that. No, that morning, that's when I had that crazy dream New Year's morning. After I woke up, fucking felt horrible. Went to the bathroom. I just crawled right back into bed. I was like, and this is why I don't drink. This is why I don't drink. The only other time I felt bad like that was when we went to Nashville. It's a miserable drive back for me. I remember laying in my bed, in the bed of my truck outside the Waffle House, just like, fuck. This is why I don't drink.
Paige wants to know where David Wilcock gets his info.
I don't know. I've never talked to him.
I think all David's info comes from that, let's say, excessive skull he has.
I think we just need to call him Wilcock.
Yeah. Mind you, he'd be the one laughing when we're out there trying to buy his flying car.
Don't buy anything from a man named Wilcock. Yeah. No, it as far as psychedelics and things and dreams, I've always been I've always been very into that stuff, and I stay into it. And I get what you're saying. Like, you can have powerful experiences like that, and they change you. They rock you, fundamentally.
I think about that.
I'm sure you do.
Scenario. I say, I don't want to say daily, but definitely weekly. And I would not be surprised if there are certain weeks, depending on what happens and what with the sort of stuff we discuss on the podcasts, where there's probably been weeks where I have ran through that entire scenario in my head again.
You should refresh it here for our 78 people, a bunch of which are new, and I love so many of you new people because I don't recognize a lot of these names.
No, it's good to see new names. Like there has been it's been quite strange, our chat. There's been like a refreshing in the chat with like some people that were here for a while are not with us anymore. They might be posting comments under Swedish flags because the comments are very similar to what an old account was. But it's good. Like I genuinely mean it. I think we have like 90% of the time we have a great chat going.
Yeah, I love it. So what was your experience?
We'll fast forward straight to the business end.
Business end.
Yeah.
Leave out the
Yeah. Because there was a bit at the beginning where I felt really rough and like I was not in a good place.
I think that's the important part.
The important part. There was just some
adjustments,
some strange visuals. I needed to lie down. That was just all I knew was I knew I needed to go and lie down. And that this verticality was not on the agenda for me. And I went to lie down. The shaman that was with us was there, and the Ollie was also with me, having his own little adventure. And I remember that person saying to me, like, well, because I felt like I was shaking, and that was that. I think that's now thinking back to it, that was one of the most interesting things, is when I found out I wasn't shaking. Because if I like, I've never had a fit before, but it was really weird because like I didn't feel like it was affecting my like chest, like respiratory system, or my head, for instance. Like but I felt like my legs and arms were like shaking uncontrollably, and I was told they weren't shaking. Then I was informed that what was going on was my body was essentially trying to hold on to my soul.
Yeah.
And it was then I tried to relax. I tried to, because the shaking came in waves, or the feeling of shaking came in waves. And I can't remember the moment of letting go, but I always say that I felt something scoop. It felt like fingers went in through like the middle of my neck and scooped down my vertebrae and pulled me out and threw me forward. And it was from, I was conscious and had my eyes open at this point. And from the pull and throw, it was just velocity, like the like Star Trek, like a Star Trek warp drive sort of thing, like a throw. And it didn't take long. Like it wasn't like a
say like a Stargate when they walk through.
Yeah, it was the same amount of time. You know those jelly hands you had when you were kids, like the jelly toys, and you'd throw them at like windows and walls and stuff. And
yeah, a little sticky hands.
Yeah, exactly the same time as it would take to pick one of those up and throw it at a wall. And that's where it felt like that throw, that velocity, that hit and sudden stop, and I was somewhere else. I was faced with an expansive wooden carving which moved like a machine. It moved like clockwork. Having now done more research into that, I believe that I think it's more because when you hear the term clockwork elves, you have a small creature in your head because of like Lord of the Rings. You don't think about these entities presenting themselves as a wall of like fucking mechanical movement. I believe I was looking at a clockwork elf. Hang on, just quick second. Absolutely not, Paige. It was it was an exceptionally good batch. That's why I was where I was. Every time I like the clicking stuff would get to a certain point, and then if you can imagine like the Rubicon from what's that horror film? Hellraiser. Yeah.
That's going in a different kind of direction.
No, but it just the motion of it. So when they were playing with the Rubicon, it changed shape. So when these things would interlock and change and move around, it would open up. And when it opened up, I felt this rush come over me, and it would tell me something else horrible about myself. And it was a humbling, humbling, upsetting experience. And I even had these feelings where there was like things people haven't been nice to and stuff like that. And the elf was kind of saying, I'm only saying elf because it's the common term. I don't really know what to call it, but like that, this is the common term. And the fact that it was like a clockwork creature or entity, I understand it. The like it would say like, well, why don't you wake up and tell your friends about that, like that time that you were horrible to your mother, or that time you were like a complete prick to someone you were going out with, or the fact that maybe you don't put as much effort into being a father as you should do.
Yep.
Go. Just wake up. You go, like your friends are in the same room. Why don't you wake up and tell them everything about you? But you can't, because these are horrible things that you need to know about, because you don't want to. You don't want to
You
appreciate
can't be
them.
honest. Can't be honest.
Yeah, because you can't be honest with
Can't
yourself.
be honest with them.
Yeah.
It's judgment,
And
man. It's a hard. Yeah,
it was
I've
a
been
soul
there.
audit. It was a soul audit. And but the really weird part of it was the I remember Wade coming round, and the first thing I said was, like, I don't know where I was, but I wasn't here. And I thought that was it. I knew there'd be other stuff to go on, but I knew I'd probably be high for a while. But I thought that was it of that part. And I remember saying I need to go to the toilet. I didn't think I could stand up. I was told, no, you can stand up. You're not drunk. You'll be fine.
That's why you need people there with you.
Yes. And I got up. I went to the toilet. I thought, oh, actually, this is fine. I'm like, my legs are still here. I went to the toilet. I remember having probably like I mean, this is actually this is the second. That was the second time I'd had something like this happen, but this was the most intense out of the two.
Those two, though.
Yeah, this is the most intense out of the two. In fact, to be perfectly honest, how intense this was explains to me why I was so protected in the first one, because I don't think I could have handled like what went on there. Like I was not, when I was like 19 or 20, wherever it was, I was not mentally prepared for that sort of like digestion of information afterwards.
I don't think you should do things like this until you're at least 30.
Yes, yeah, I think you're probably right.
30.
Yeah. The weird thing was, when I was having a piss, I got this feeling, and it was weird because I was still when I was awake. When I was awake, I wasn't hallucinating, and that's the really weird part about it. Apart from the fact of feeling a bit woolly, I was a bit woolly and a bit fuzzy. Kind of like when you wake up in the morning, you're still a bit drunk from the night before, and you wake up and you're I'm not quite at 100% here. So I was.
I do. Interestingly enough.
So I got this feeling that it was pulling me back, and it wanted me to go and lie down again. And I went to lie down again, and I had the same thing. I lay down, I relaxed. I had the same scoop, because realistically, from this, maybe kind of this point, but not this point, is when I started to get. I felt more comfortable after the first time round and through. But I had the whole thing again, the scoop, the throw, and I was slap bang in front of the same entity, like the same mechanical wall, wooden carving wall that was clicking away, and it was open up and tell me more things about myself I should fucking feel ashamed about, and fucking go out and fix and make sure I don't do again, that sort of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And but it did that maybe 4 times, where I'd wake up, I'd be like with people again, I'd have a drink, I might go for another piss. I piss a lot.
I can vouch for that.
Yeah, I'd lie back, and I would get sucked out again. This happened, and then that changed into the whole, when that was finished telling me what it wanted to tell me, it shattered, and it became a blue and like green aquamarine mosaic. At the top of the mosaic, there was like something that looked like a spearhead, but it wasn't a spearhead. It was just that sort of shape. And I heard the person that was watching over my trip say, like, just think about something that you love. And I started thinking about Sun. And the more I thought about him, was this thing would make its way through the mosaic. Did it in a piss-arsey fashion about it. Took its time. But I knew if it started up at the top here, I knew if I could get it down to, well, say this corner down here, it would that something was going to happen. The when it did that broke, and that's when I started having like visions of things which I can't remember and I can't recall. There was a man in a bowler hat with a red tie. I remember that he had no face. As in, like, it was completely smooth, like flat and smooth.
That's unnerving.
Yeah, it wasn't. He wasn't nice. He didn't do anything. He just watched me with no eyes. There was a painting, and I remember music as well. There was like it sounded a bit like Tool, like it was sort of all like polyrhythmic. Yeah, it's like it's as soon as I was there, like there was music throughout the whole thing. So I thought that was interesting, especially as a musician. I don't know whether it was. I don't know whether that's common. That type of music is common in there, or whether it's because. But I'm not like a big Tool fan, So it's not like I listen to Tool all the time. I probably only know Schism, like as like really as far as Tool songs go. I just know who they are, so it's not like I was making my favorite band in my head while I was doing this. It frustrates me that I can't remember that part. I can remember everything else so clearly. Apart from the visions, and that makes me think that stuff was really, really fucking important. And then I was kind of placed back, and I remember this sort of swooshing feeling, like it was like, and I remember saying to you guys at the time that motion meant something like that, and it was like everything was blue, like for all intensive purposes. If you'd have stuck gates in there, it was a pearly gate type situation. There was clouds, there was blue skies, there was everything else was white. What I was standing on was white. It was white around me. And I got the feeling that I was kind of like, look, you've done well today. We've done some work. We'll see you again. Yeah, you go chew on this for a little bit, and off you go, scamp. I came round. I remember telling people that were there what had gone on. I probably went for another piss. I drank some more water, and
you tuck it out early that evening.
Yeah, I did tuck her out early. But I remember like the last then when I lay back down for a little bit then, and I kind of I soft tripped out for a little bit because I just got visuals and colors and stuff like that. And I almost feel like that was a little Good Boy Biscuit.
Because that was here you go.
Because because it was that was I remember because even the time when I was there, like I said, I took it out on my own that night, and there was a couple of times when I was lying there where I could get myself back into that state still, and still have some of the visuals and stuff when I close my eyes. I remember that melting away, and I was pretty sad there, thinking, it's all gone now. But yeah, it was interesting. I just want to do. I don't know whether this was a.
Those accountings are pretty hard, man. I had one like that. I know I've shared on the whatever other show it was. It wasn't on YouTube, but those accountings are hard. When you get called to task over who you are.
I just want to say to Maud, there's no clickbaiting going on. You know, it's if you don't have a guest that turns up, it's just what it is.
Continue
you know,
on with the show.
yeah. Which we chose just to shut shop for the night. No.
Yeah. No, it is like I got called to account on that, and it was really rough. It was rough. It was a lot. It was hard, and it fundamentally changed me as a person. I think it made me a better husband, father, friend.
I think I'm a better person. I think I think I'm a better person for it. I would. I'd argue I've noticed some other people are slightly worse than I thought they were.
Yeah, that opens your eyes to it too. Like
Yeah.
I remember when it was going through my life.
There's people that maybe I had a fractured relationship with.
Yeah.
That I really find it difficult to deal with now.
Yeah.
It's on certain levels.
No, I understand that. Yeah, no, it was bad. It was like it's not bad. It's not a bad thing, but I understand what you're saying. I get how rough it is. It is, and like when mine was a little different, it was a lot different, but it was still the general same thing. But I would remember like try and like look away, and I could just feel like turn my head back, like no, you're gonna go through all of this. We're here now, you know, and yeah, man, it's rough, but it's life changing. It's good too. It's good too. I hope you get another opportunity when you come back out here. We'll definitely go see the same guy.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope to do that soon. I don't know if it's going to be this year or not, but I'd like. I'm looking forward to come back out to see you. It was a good time.
It'll be fun. Yeah, it's good. Good.
There's a quite heart-wrenching story here. Welcome to the show. So I've recently been dreaming about dad. He moved on in 2018 with dementia, Alzheimer's. The dreams I've had a conversation with dad like he was okay before he became poorly.
I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back because I feel like we should cover this in depth because welcome to the show is always here.
Yeah. You just got me now. Yeah, I had a really weird dream. We'll get back. We'll go because I had a friend, Tim. I won't say his surname, because he's European and it's really difficult to say, and it's got like fucking 25 letters in his surname, to the point where he was one of those people that makes a fake surname up for himself because he's just being like polite to everybody else, not expecting them to say his absolute dropped Scrabble bag of a surname. Anyway, he went traveling and he ended up working in, I think it was Spain for a while, and he died in Spain. I mean, no one really knew what happened to him. My sisters didn't know what happened to him, is the thing. And like, we were pretty close. Like we were pretty close, like to the point I think about him regularly. But I had a dream like that he came to me in that dream, and I was like, "But you're right." He's like, "No, not really." And yeah, it like he was only there briefly, but he kind of just said how like violent and like off-putting his like early, because he was only young, like his early retirement from life was. It was really strange. Like I woke up, it quite upset me. It was anyway. I carry on, Dave. Odd story from Lee.
Oh no, I think we should give dreams more credit than we do. You know, we have for thousands of years, and now in this new modern world we don't. I'm big into dreaming. Yeah, I would. You know, it kind of depends. I think obviously you caveat it with a lot of things. You know, did it feel real? But for this, I absolutely believe things like that happen, and I believe that if he's there, then he's there, and I hope that gave you some kind of closure or went there. I had something similar happen a couple times. once with my stepdad and once with my biological father. My stepdad went out in a really rough way. My biological father went out in a really rough way. And I had a dream that shortly after my biological father passed, he kind of popped up in my dream. And it was one of those ones like, you're dreaming and it's very vivid. And we just kind of sat down and had the conversation that, we talked, I talked to him at his deathbed, and it was more a conversation where he was just kind of reiterating these points, and he left it with that he had to go. And that's kind of how it went. And then with my stepfather, it was similar. Mm-hmm. It was a very similar, and I mean, it's a lot of personal stuff, so I don't want to get into it like that. But no, I think it was 100% real, 100% real. 100% real. That was actually them. I don't know where they were going, but they got some kind of reprieve because I wasn't the only one who had that dream, or dreams with them in it. And I get it. People are like, well, trauma, and you're trying to understand. And, when people start explaining shit like that, I just want to knock their teeth out. Like, just shut up. Like, you're not the person, you're not there. It's the scenario where the guy's like, hey man, I got a new car. It's like, yeah, but it doesn't have this package. And I got that's all those people are. They're just narcissists that just want to throw that weight in. They don't get it on an emotional intelligence level. They don't understand that connection.
They're the same people that have a go at people that when people pass on, you will get the people turn around and say, well, they're with God now. And that's fine. I'm not having a go at that comment by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah.
I'm having a go at the people that will post underneath that going, oh my God, you have to bring religion into this, because it's so much easier.
Yep.
Isn't it so much nicer to say that there's a chance that your relatives are in a better place than than here, or that they've moved on to like the next phase of existence? But no, Johnny fucking atheist is much happy to say, no, stop being so stupid. He's in a fucking oblivion. Like there is nothing left now. It's cruel for you to say he's in a better place.
No, we're here for you. Welcome
confusing.
To the show.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
don't show weakness. I'll ban you just to be a bell end.
This is true. There is something to it. There's something spiritual, and there should be reverence. I've never understood that, like what you're saying. You're bringing religion into it. It's always when you flesh out their conversation or argument to it, always just comes back to them self-aggrandizing. It's a weird detachment for reality. And interestingly enough, I hope that you are through that and you are settled. If you're not, message the boys and we can put you in contact with someone who can give you a recipe to help you settle. Because the shaman that helped the guys have a great experience, he has a recipe that works. Like you just got to follow it if you want to do that. But if it gave you the closure or the sense, and it kind of sounds like it did, then man, run with it. Yeah, that's legit. Mm-hmm. Dreams are real. Yeah, I take dreams very seriously. Not the ones where it's all kind of chaos, where I've like, I shouldn't eat that pizza. You know what I mean? But the ones where it's vivid and it's real and you're there and you're like, ooh, this is something. Yeah. I hope you got what you needed. I hope that was the right conversation, because clearly he put forth that effort to come back. I think that's I think that's the easiest way, or maybe the correct way that people reach out like that. I always wonder when we dream how close our soul is to where we come from, or maybe where it really resides. Maybe that's the point of dreams, is our soul has to go back and rest for a little while before it gets plugged back into the meat suit and has to deal with what we deal with. Yeah.
Sleep's such a weird thing.
It's a weird thing.
Like the idea that it makes absolutely no sense, like on a evolutionary like thing, that we have fucking predators that go around at nighttime. The last thing we want to do is what I mean, even that, like, it makes sense to be nocturnal at that point, because at least that's the point where when it's dark, you're at your most vulnerable. So, you know, if shit goes on, you hear a noise, you wake up in the daytime, at least you can fucking see what's going on. But no, we sleep in the nighttime. So when you hear that bang downstairs, you wake up in complete darkness before you walk downstairs completely naked, grabbing like the fire poker just in case there's somebody in the house.
You and I handle bumps in the night very differently. Because I guarantee I can see. And woe unto the person who made entry. Does anyone know you're here? No? Good. You gonna call the cops? No one knows you're here. Why would I call the cops? Oh, this is just starting.
Did you hear about the woman that found a man? I think she was in Germany. A woman owned hairdressers, and she disturbed a robber that was trying to rob her hairdressers. She proceeded to overpower this man, tie him up, and sexually abuse him for 3 days. Just incredible.
They show up to get the burglar and they rescue him as a hostage.
Not prepared.
If he was prepared, he'd have brought a lot more lube. Yeah, I saw that. That's nuts, man. That's nuts. Yeah, no, I put a lot of credit in dreaming. I think dreaming is the key for most people to get as close to the ethereal as they can. You know, I think you should focus on it. I think a little, meditation or thought or prayer before sleep is a big deal. It's a good thing. I think that's, how the rest of the whatever's out there speaks to us is through our dreams.
This is an interesting thing I've got. If VR ever becomes a wide adopted thing, and I don't think enough has been looked into as to how that affects like brain patterns, especially when we go to sleep, because I've done a bit of VR, and I found that really affected my dreams. Like really affected them, almost enhanced them to a certain extent. Like I found it much easier to lucid dream. I found it much easier to remember. So it might actually be a good thing, but it was very odd.
I'm very interested in things that make me lucid dream less.
Yeah.
I'm very interested in things that make my dreams less interesting, or maybe no dream at all. I'm fine with that. I'm okay with it. Let's bring that into the game.
Mm-hmm.
So far, the only thing that does that for me seems to be alcohol, and I'm just not playing with that. It's not for me.
Well, you don't get into REM sleep, do you? With when you drink alcohol,
I think that's part of it. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Yeah, because like for a while when I was younger, and I was dealing with issues that I just hadn't really reconciled with, I didn't want to dream. Right, like that's not anywhere I wanted to go. I didn't want to be haunted like that, and alcohol was the way to do it for years. But then you can't be like that every day, so you come up on that first sober night that hits. The first sober night that hits, it's bad. It's really bad, and it's like you convince yourself that every once a week or every 2 weeks, like I can deal with this for a day or two. You can't.
Mm-hmm.
It's better just to deal with it as it comes. And then over time, I learned how to deal with it. And it took years, though. It wasn't like, I figured out this. Years. Mm-hmm. Years of night terrors, years of just haunted dreams, years of just crap. And it eventually did. By the time I hit my 30s, was able to kind of turn it around. It's still going full effect. The last crazy one I had was on New Year's Day, and I told you and Ollie about that. Mm-hmm. I've had some other little ones, but that was the bombshell so far thus far.
Yeah, like one of the most interesting, dream stories I think we've had is when after we did the Aleister Crowley episode.
We all had
all
bad
three
dreams.
of us had terrible and like horrific dreams. Yeah, that was really weird.
We
Yeah.
talked to I forget her name right now off the top of my head. She had done it, and we had asked her about that as well. And she
Avery.
had bad dreams. Avery. Yeah.
Yeah,
She was like,
yeah.
she's like, I couldn't sleep.
Mhm.
I was like, yeah, that's what happens when you dig deep into that guy. It
Mhm.
like you're opening yourself up to a certain amount.
Yeah, that's I wonder that. I wonder that if that's because in the same way as the you know, it's the old story, isn't it? Only believers see UFOs. I do like if you don't if you don't watch like sports channels, chances are you're not going to catch football. Like I think you've got to kind of tune yourself into these things to have experiences. I think that's why like people like maybe like the debunker crowd, they don't experience anything because they're not willing to shift the bandwidth enough.
It's kind of like I've told this story before when I went to a haunted hospital, and we had a couple good skeptics, and we were having an incredible interaction with one of the proximity sensors, like answering questions, and you're like, "Whoa, this is specific." And one of the guys in the group who's a big skeptic just walks away, starts walking down a hallway, and we're like, "Man, why did you walk away in the middle of that?" And he's like, "Middle of what?" It's like that was lighting up. Like, then he's like, nah, I was. And we had a few other things. He was like, it's coincidence. Like I'm sure it's rigged. You're just like, what? Then why did you run away like that? You know? And by walk, I'm giving him too much credit. He scampered. It was strange that he didn't want to deal with, think about, or confront anything beyond normal.
I think that before we start wrapping the show up, the all-seeing eye, probably the good thing up here saying what about grifters? I take it that's with me saying like if you like the people that are tuned in, yeah.
Get your sticker and T-shirts now.
I think we need broadly like to have a proper discussion about grifting and like exactly what a like what do we mean by grifters, because I fell into this trap before, and do you know what, I owe people like Stephen Green an apology. I owe people like Third Face of Moon an apology, even though it is funny to now and again make jokes up because I like making jokes up.
Yeah, I don't like making jokes about them being grifters. I like making jokes about other things.
But like I think I don't believe that there is anybody nearly anybody, maybe a Corey Good, but even that, I still think maybe Corey Good had good intentions at some point. Do you know what the other one is? I was listening to Redacted the other day, and they had what's his name, Billy Myers,
yeah
guy. What's his name? Michael Horn. He's been on the show. And he was talking about the predictions that Billy Meyer had made, and like, man, like, that guy believes that stuff.
Correct.
And like, I'm sure Michael Horn isn't going to listen to this podcast. I know sometimes he comes in like comments and stuff, but like,
he's not a fan.
if that guy's listening to this show, I apologize to you of how we handled the interview with you, because we didn't believe it, and that's fine. We don't believe it, but we shouldn't have gone into an interview not believing it. It was a bad way to go into an interview.
I wasn't on that, was I?
No. See, I don't really know what
apology I don't have to make.
I would say me and Ollie had influence, outside influence, that was coloring how we approached certain things back then. And I don't think Michael Horn is doing that for money, and that's the thing. But on the other side of it, the guy does sell stuff. You know, if you want to buy the full color high glossy book of the Maya pictures, it's like $500. You know, it's not cheap. But shit, the guy's got to make a living because he wants to do what he's doing because he believes in it. So is that a grifter at that point? You know, it's like the Tracy Scott here has said Mick West. Biggest grifter to me is Mick Prick West. And he, like, don't get me wrong, that man definitely walks the line of if you're a hammer, everything's a bird.
No, he's paid by the government.
But I mean, is he, or does he believe it? Does he just not believe in this stuff?
It's not that he doesn't. Like, if he doesn't believe in it, he doesn't believe in it so much that he believes it's his own belief. It's his own belief that nothing can be real. So it's either that.
I'm more along the lines of the idea that people can be useful idiots. So they prop up the people that that can be useful idiots.
I used to be that way until the Ashton thing happened, MH370, and it was all centered on Mick's shutdown attack, and then everything just kind of came, and you're just like, whoa,
yeah,
whoa.
But that's the thing.
Coordinated.
I genuinely believe that Mick West does not believe in those videos, and that's fine. Lots of people don't believe in those videos.
I know he doesn't.
Yeah. So at that point, he's not a grifter because he believes what he's saying. Like there, do you know what? Orsi and I, you brought the cock up. David Wilcock, not a grifter because he set his career on fire when he did that big Q post. You know, like he did that big video where he sat down and put out and said, "Look, there's going to be 10 days of darkness. This is happening. I've been told that there's going to be this video that comes up which is going to explain everything." Like he went into that like.
He believed it got left out there.
Force 10, and where it's left him. And to be perfectly honest, like because now he comes across as a bit crazy, and like I think that genuinely damaged him. Yeah, and that's not a nice thing. But again, I don't believe he was a grifter. Greer, I don't think he's a grifter. I think he believes in what he's doing. But again, to do what he's doing, he's got to make money while he's doing it. And it's something I've like you look at us, like if we could sell more stuff, or we could or we had we could get viewers up to the to the amount where we could get like proper advertising and stuff like that, we wouldn't work. We could do this full time. We could do nightly shows. We would talk about all sorts of different things. We get more guests on because we'd have more viewers. Would we be great
shows now?
Yeah, but what but what I'm saying is, would we suddenly become grifters because we could make money out of doing what we're doing? Because that's what people would say. But the difference is, like, I do this stuff because I genuinely want to try and make people's lives a bit better. You know, I believe the sort of conversations we have are beneficial. I think if they weren't beneficial, people would, like we said earlier in the show, people wouldn't be trying to stop us having them.
And this is an example of that.
Yes,
that's amazing. Man. Yeah,
100%.
That's 100%. Because this is that place for validation, and that's fantastic. That's awesome, man.
But the thing is to do these things, like it's just the system we're in. Like I'm a fucking painter and decorator to pay the bills. I'm not a grifter when I go to work. You know, like
hey, I'm queer for Greer.
I think Paige pointed out best, like the Greer might be a grifter, but he's our grifter.
Damn straight. You know.
But Tracy, look, we do not handle the shipping and handling. I hope you get them soon, and I'm sure as soon as
we didn't make one.
What?
We were supposed to, like, Ollie was supposed to make a custom shirt for her.
Oh,
She said she would buy
I
one.
thought she meant she'd bought the.
Mm.
Well, it's dead easy. Then you just buy one of the Bigfoot T-shirts, and then you buy one of the MH370 didn't disappear itself, and you wear them together, and you've kind of got the same shirt.
Now, Ollie said he would make it, so Ollie needs to make it. We're gonna. I'll message him as soon as this is over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think there is less there is less shills and grifters than you think there are. It's
I think they're people being manipulated.
Yeah.
I think that is high because that's the reality. Like people who are paid government people, lower than you would think, because you need one paid guy to influence.
Thank you. You can get a badge. Where's the badge?
What'd you say?
I was trying to do the badge thing, like not the badge, the thank you thing.
I thought you said something with a V.
No, not.
What are you doing?
Ta-da!
Boom. Thanks, Tracy. That's awesome.
Smooth. Well, you can have two, because we're such a smooth running show.
29 more to go, guys. Yeah.
Yeah, see, like, I don't think Corbell's a shill. I really don't think Corbell's a shill. I think Corbell thinks he's going to change the world. I think Corbell thinks he is at the sharp end of, like, progressive
he's the spear. He's the tip of the spear.
Yeah. And he's going to break it, and there'll be statues of him. And, I think Corbell would be a good guy. Elizondo,
I think Elizondo is
different.
Doing his duty for his country.
He's a government guy. Yeah,
he's doing his duty for his country. That's what it is. This one's we need people to ask hard questions. I don't even think we know how to frame the questions.
Do you know what the thing is? I don't think we need this is one of the ones where I know we've done.
He does have a great beard. I'm terrible. Dude, Corbell's beard's on point. Like, I'm envious.
I don't think we do need to ask hard questions, and this is the thing, and this goes back to like what I was saying about Michael Holm before, and the show we did with him. I'd like I would like to get Michael back on actually, and not talk about the photographs. And go through he'd
come on for an apology.
Yeah, the what you call it, the predictions that Billy Meyer made. I'd like to go through that just because I think it would be interesting, and if we all disagree with each other at the end, I think there would be I think there could be a more amicable way of ending a show, which would be nice.
Shoot him an email. See if we can get it back on.
Yeah.
It'd be good to do a little bridge repairing.
Love you guys. You're the best. Make me laugh. Oh, thank you very much. But yeah, like this is the thing. I don't think it's right because why is, like, I would say in the past 20 years, the most important media outlet or the most important thing that's happened to media has been the Joe Rogan experience.
Yep.
Rarely does Joe Rogan ask the hard questions, because if you do that, you fuck your interview up.
Nobody's coming.
Yeah, no one's coming back because the good thing is, like we've seen time and time again on that show, if you get somebody on which is disingenuous, or which is like, and actually, I quite like the guy because I like a trickster. Like if you get someone out there like an Andrew Tate or something like that. I mean, I don't particularly want him as a role model for anybody, but I appreciate a piss boiler probably more than most. So I was a big fan of Milo Yiannopoulos for this.
Yeah.
I've actually read. I've read my Dangerous as well. I read his book. But the thing is, I think Milo was an antagonist for an antagonist's sake, and the shame about him is he was so intelligent, and he is so intelligent. He kind of doesn't need to do that. He could get by just being super smart.
Just argue the point. Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing is, he went
It's
on.
black. It's black, and it's not a Bugatti. It's a GMC 2500 HD Duramax.
My Bugatti. Well, I mean, which one? But the the thing with Milo went on Joe Rogan Experience. He was his antagonistic self, and he hung his entire career.
Yes.
He hung himself because the best thing to do if you want rid of people, and this is where I think the left make the biggest mistakes of anyone else by attacking people, because they don't allow people enough rope to hang themselves. If you allow all the ideas to go to off out into the world, and you allow people to speak about them, then the best ones come to the top, the shit ones fall to the bottom, and the disingenuous ones just get called out for what they are.
That's why I don't like going after other shows. I don't like the shit talking of other shows or podcasts. I just rather ignore them. Why is this a thing?
It's propping themselves up. Like that's
they're trying to tear down to get attention for I've never been a fan. I've never, and both the guys will confess to that. You have to say that I've always advised against it.
There is literally nobody I wouldn't have on this show, like for an honest, open conversation. Like nobody. And and that goes with previous guests. That goes with like previous people that were on like long time with Ollie before I was even here. Because there, like you said, there is no point. There's no point in the backbiting. There's no point in the fighting. And I all it is to me is just people propping themselves up because for some reason they maybe they're not as confident in their own material as they should be. So it's just an easy way to do it. But I think I made a point without like pissing anybody off or getting us in trouble. And if anything, like I say, that the people I mentioned at the beginning, like genuinely, I apologize if we if Alien Addict as an entity or myself has like tried to think. The only thing I caveat with, I know we're kind of going against it here, but it's just I think it's worth saying it because I brought the cousins up before. That was the only problem I had with them when they came on, was the fact that somebody called them out, did a documentary about them, and subsequently they went after that guy and got him to take his video down. Like the guy had no subs, the guy had nothing. He just done a documentary. I feel if someone's going to call you out, you should just have the bollocks to just take it and move on. Do you know what I mean?
I do, interestingly enough.
Yeah.
But before speaking of the Bugatti comment, I think this is funny. So you've been in my truck. You'll find I drive a large truck, and it has very large brush guard. Isn't quite the right word for it on the front. It's like diamond. It's that plated steel. And family's out of town. They're like, my wife's going to her sister's birthday thing and taking the kids, and they got a cabin and all that kind of stuff. And I'm here with the dog, and I have some things I have to do. And they're coming back this evening because of snow. But so I went to Costco the other day, and we have a bunch of. I kind of feel bad, but I kind of don't, like Californians. There's a lot of California plates, and there's a lot of these little small cars and electric cars. And it's one of the few times I have to go into like a city type thing. And I've normally always drove our other vehicles. I've never really drive my truck there because it is kind of a pain in the ass to park. Lee, I'm going to take it there forever. Everybody just got the fuck out of my way. Just hit that, listen to that diesel spin up with the turbo. They just go, oh, okay, I'll get over. It was amazing. I had a great time. I bullied a bunch of people in Priuses and Teslas.
I'd have a Tesla. If someone walked up to me and said, "Lee, got a car for you," I'd take a Tesla.
Is there any car you would turn down if someone's just going to give you one?
Ford Ka. If you remember the Ford Ka.
No idea what that
That's
is.
a fucking ugly car. Ugly car.
Yeah, but it's free.
I just take it as an insult. The only like what one that I physically, I mean, I would take for free, but I would have to get rid of is have you, you're a man of considerable fucking size as I am. Have you ever driven a Mini?
Cooper?
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you feel like you were wearing a car?
Yes. I feel like I could have put my legs on the floor and stood up. Yeah. I felt the same way when I was in one of those little Fiats. I was like, this isn't we're gonna die. Like my buddy, a very good friend, you know who he is. He has Porsches. And
Yes.
so like, we'll go out and like his 911 and whatever. And we're like, yeah, let's just like, okay. I'm never really comfortable. I'm never really comfortable. I'm just kind of like, he's like, and someone will say, the owners of Porsche are tall. They make them so you can be like, bullshit. I've been in this car. It's not that. Yeah, there's a reason I drive the truck I drive. It's comfy. It's roomy. You've been in it. It's nice, right?
Yeah,
like
it is.
There's
great.
room. There's room.
Yeah. It's taller than me. It's a tall car. It's a big car. I like it.
Like I'd love to drive around Europe.
There's a few cars over here that are that size, but not a lot. Yeah, it's good. It's a good car. Like it. Man's got raw.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're still here and you are one of the 67 people that are still in the chat and you haven't hit the like button, then I mean, what are you doing? Like at this point, I think you at least owes a like.
It went to 66.
Yeah. It's like, no, sorry.
Whoa, you asking too much of me. Asking too much of me.
You want me to click, like just click a single thing. Sorry. What we have had, and I should have mentioned this at the top of the show. I will mention at the top of the show. I'll probably on the Saturday show because it's the next one I will be on. Someone mentioned in the comments that they had been unsubbed from the channel, which was weird. But also some other people have seen saying that they haven't been getting notifications of things. I hate to be that guy. Do the bell thing. YouTube have put it there. Do the bell thing. I'm as bad as you are. I forget to do it as well. But trust me, like I forget to do the bell thing for Linus Tech Tips. It is much more important than you do it for a show this size than it is if you do it for any of the big YouTube shows you watch. So please do the bell, do the subscribing, like it, put the comment on it.
Share it.
Yeah, the comments. Yeah, it's like
follow us on Twitter or X, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, we are.
We're very responsive. I talk to people on there all the time.
Yeah. You don't put your fucking handle up though, do you? Make it easier. Be even easier.
I don't make it easy, man. No, you got to work for it. You want my love, work. I'll tell you what I tell my kids. You want my love, you got to earn it. All right. Shit just ain't free in this world. There's 4 of you. I got enough love for 1.5. And the dog's already in.
So yeah, do the like, share, and subscribe thing. It means a lot to us. Thank you anyone that's done anything to help the show out. If you do buy a t-shirt, and I need to get back in touch with Complicit. I think it's Complicit. I can never pronounce his name. Because I want good pictures of you in the t-shirts, so we can start popping t-shirts up and showing. Yeah. He's been the first person that sent me a picture of the wearing his Bigfoot t-shirt. So I want
a lot of booby photos and penis photos. Not from comp.
Yeah, remember Aldi likes tributes.
He does.
But yeah, I really do. I want pictures of you in the t-shirts so we can bring them up. And if you don't have your face in it, that's fine. Like you put a little smiley face over your face. I don't care.
Interestingly enough, if you send one with a face and write tribute, Ollie will send you one back. Won't cost you anything. I mean, he's doing it all the time. We've been trying to get him to stop.
But yeah, it would be great to show like you have the community out there. you guys supporting us, and it would be nice to show that there's people out there supporting us.
You can even cut the sticker and put it on your
You can
favorite cup. That's awesome, isn't it?
It is awesome. Like, I love that design. Like, I love it.
I love it. When you made it, I was like, I fucking love that thing.
Yeah.
I've been sort of arguing we need that on a sticker.
Proud of myself. Give it to Ollie. Say, Ollie, smile that up for me. He's on it. Did it. It's great.
And then he sent a tribute, which
yeah,
you just do it. You just don't open mail from Ollie.
Wow,
you just don't. That's the thing is, people think we're going to send pictures. You know, he did that from muscle memory. Yeah, this is physical mail. Like, just don't open it. You know.
I was going to say something terrible then. Wow. I was low even for me. I'm so. This is why I don't drink on shows anymore. I've only had 2 now. Yeah. Right, we've been trying to wrap this show up now for approximately 15 minutes.
Not so much. There's 61 people. That's amazing.
Are we just
63
happy to be here?
Yeah.
Right. See you later, guys. Later. We'll see you next Saturday. Remember, next Saturday, Alien Addict, Conspiracy Mothership. We will be discussing your topics. So come find it. If you bring one up that we don't know about, we will do the whole. We'll Google it live. We'll find out about it. We'll do a little bit. Maybe even watch a YouTube video or something here and there. But yeah, it's your way of sharpening those up or getting us to speak about stuff that you want us to speak about. It's gonna be good fun. I can't wait.
This could be interesting.
Yeah. See you later, guys. Bye bye.
New take on apologizing. You could apologize to Franco?
No. Do you know no, to be fair, I don't dislike Franco.
That was coming. That was a long time coming.
It was coming.
That particular instance. Yeah.
What I would say is, let's be honest about something here. Like, straight up, Ollie has been cyberbullying Greer for fucking years.
Oh, yeah, by far. Yeah. It's really passive aggressive, isn't it?
It is. I just thought, like, hi. I mean, oh God, we're here now. And we'd ended the show. This is new. It's just not, it's not right, is it? None of this is right, Dave.
I like that we ended the show and yet you brought us back.
I couldn't show the Greer things without doing it. Poor Greer. Like, that's the man only wants some love.
You ain't getting it from me. I ain't like that.
#queer for Greer.